All right, so I'm sharing this brief video with you today about Sodom and Gomorrah. As you can see here, this comes from holylandsite.com, so you can go there and see what information they have further. But I'm showing this about Sodom and Gomorrah because you have so many people in the United States who are losing their minds over the recent election of Donald Trump, and they're so sad that Kamala Harris didn't win. Well, I'm telling you, if you're a believer in Christ, or based on what I'm about to show you here, whether you're a believer in Christ or not, you're going to believe when you see this, because this man is showing proof that Sodom and Gomorrah actually existed, and that the ash, the sulfur, the brimstone that God rained down on Sodom and Gomorrah, the truth and the physical evidence of it is still there to this day. So much so that if you light it with a match, that it burns with a blue flame, which you will see in this video. So let's take a look.
Sodom and Gomorrah were destroyed, Josephus writes that you could still see the cities visibly. So we're 2,000 years beyond that. But we also have to understand that when God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, and it appears to be the surrounding cities in this Dead Sea region, that he reduced them to ashes. Now what we can see here is a lot of brimstone here in this area. So I'm going to talk about some of the evidences. So Josephus says he could see the cities clearly. They have discovered in these areas a brimstone, and they're like balls. And this brimstone is totally different than any other place on the planet. Most other brimstone, and I should mention brimstone is synonymous with sulfur. So brimstone is kind of the old word for sulfur. So we have found sulfur balls all over in these city areas here, and it's unlike any other sulfur on the planet, as I mentioned. They're white, and they are about 90 to almost 100% pure. So you can light them with a match and they burn this deep blue, yellowish color, just burning the rocks. It's just almost solid sulfur. Now most sulfur found around the world is greenish and runs about 40 to 50% in sulfur purity. So we have these sulfur balls here that are unique. They're round and they are almost pure sulfur, and they're...
Now you see the blue flame there. That's just like the blue flame that would be on your gas stove top or gas oven. You don't get blue flames from regular heat. That is concentrated, specific heat. Let's continue.
white like any other place on the planet, as we mentioned. Also, archaeologists have discovered in these areas around Sodom and Gomorrah about 1.5 to 5 million bodies in graves in these areas around Sodom and Gomorrah. That tells us that this area was densely populated. Also, we know when God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, he sent fire, so I'm sure there was a lot of tumult and buildings falling down and stuff like that. I should also mention that these sulfur balls are not found in between the cities. So you can see.
So now we are here at Romans chapter 1. And let's go on down to about verse 20. Let's see. Now let's go to verse 22. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools, and changed the glory of the uncorruptible God into an image made like to corruptible man, and to birds, and four-footed beasts, and creeping things. Wherefore God also gave them up. Here we go. Gave them up. It means God said, okay, I'm through with these people, and I'm going to let them be unclean and evil. Gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own hearts, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves, who changed the truth of God into a lie. So that's why no Christian, no believer, nobody that says they believe in God or Christ should be supporting these far left Democrats. I'm just making it plain. But even if you don't believe in the Bible, then you need to look at that video some more I just showed you, and you can go to their website, and it shows archaeological and scientific proof and evidence that Sodom and Gomorrah was there and it was burned up just like God said. Let's continue. They served the creature more than the creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. For this cause, meaning for this reason, right? God gave them up unto vile affections. Vile means dirty, filthy, wicked, all of that type of stuff. For even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature. that means their women stopped having sex with men and wanted to have sex with each other. Let's just make it plain. That's what the natural use means, into that which is against nature. And likewise also the men, leaving the natural use. So even if you don't believe in God, then you still got to believe in nature. Whoever created this natural world, they created male and female for human beings to live and reproduce. That's all it is to it. Leaving the natural use of the woman, burned in their lust one toward another, men with men working that which is unseemly, right? And receiving in themselves that recompense of their error which was meet. If you ever see any images of that recompense, their reward or punishment for men getting with men, you'll see why it's so filthy. So that's all for now. I just wanted to show some proof, because people think the Bible is just some kind of fairy tale. I'm telling you that these things that God said happen, they have already happened just like he said. And it also means it's going to continue to happen just like he said. We'll close out with Romans chapter 1, verse 20. For the invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even his eternal power and Godhead. Here's the point. So that they are without excuse. There's going to be no excuse. We know that male and female is naturally how God made man. So whether you want to be a Buddhist, whether you want to be Hindu, whether you want to be a Muslim, or whether you want to believe in Christ, which is what I would suggest or hope that you would do, you still can't argue with nature. So with that, have a good day. Be blessed. Pray for our fellow American citizens, brothers and sisters who are losing their mind because they're afraid that we're not going to have a government pushing this LGBTQIA plus infinite number of alphabets, because as you can clearly see here, God is not having that. He's not for it. And there's historical evidence that he is against it.